Hi everyone, welcome to Project 1.0. This is our first project and our first lesson for the program. In this project, we shall be taking a look at an e-commerce business that rolls out 15% discounts on all its products in January, and the CEO of this business is willing to know the effects of the 15% discounts on the business. The CEO says, our recent January 15% discount campaign has driven a lot of sales volume, but I'm not convinced we are improving our profitability. I need you to analyze our sales and customer data to determine if this discount is leading to margin erosion or simply cannibalizing our full price sales, and to see if we're attracting the right customer segment. Based on your findings, recommend strategic adjustments to ensure we drive sustainable growth. Here is a word from the CEO. As a data analyst, whenever you encounter a new project or you are being faced with a new business problem, the first thing to do is to have a framework. Define your framework, apply it on the project, and evaluate. For this particular project, we shall be using a framework called DDED. What does this mean? The first D over here stands for define. The first thing to do in any project is to be clear on what the business problem is. You have to define your problem statement very clearly. For this particular project, the CEO major concern is to measure the effects of the 15% discount on all their products. That's the problem. What's the effect? Is it increasing the business profits, or is it decreasing it, or is it cannibalizing their full sales price and the likes? But the main problem here is the effect of the 15% discounts on their products. That's the first D. The second D over here means disassemble. Disassemble. What does this mean? It means breaking down the problem statements into smaller chunks. That is, putting them one after the other. Take for instance in this project, our CEO wished to know whether the new products, the new discounts, is affecting the profitability of the business. Likewise, he wished to know whether the new 15% discount is also cannibalizing their full price sales. What does sales cannibalization means? Sales cannibalization happens when a new product or a new discount reduces or affects the sales of the existing full price product. As we all know, whenever a new business or whenever a business rolls out a huge or a new discount on some of their products, customer tends to rush that particular product and leave behind the existing full price products. So for our CEO over here, he wished to know whether majority of the customers are moving towards that 15% discount, leaving out their full price sales. It's also part of it. Likewise, the CEO also wished to know their customer segments, whether this 15% discount is attracting new customer or old customers. So for us to disassemble this, we can disassemble this into three major pieces by saying we need to know the profitability of the 15% discount. Profitability. Likewise, sales cannibalization. And thirdly, the customer segment. So after disassembling the problem statements to these smaller chunks, we go ahead by evaluating it. This E over here stands for evaluate. In this process, we take each chunks and analyze using the available data sets. In this evaluation process, our tools like Microsoft Power BI or Microsoft Excel or MySQL or Python comes in. either of these products or either of these tools comes in the evaluation stage. The first thing, whenever you are being given a problem, is not the tool. Firstly, understand it by defining the problem itself. Disassemble it into smaller questions, into smaller chunks. Then afterward, this will demonstrate the type of data sets that you require, that you request, maybe from the data engineer or from the data department, as in your department. For instance, for this particular project, we need to know whether the 15% discount is affecting the profitability. Definitely, we'll be needing the transaction data sets. Transaction. We want to know the profitability and the sales cannibalization. This will give us we need transaction data sets for us to solve these two problems. Likewise, for the customer segments, we also need the customer data sets. And aside that, we are talking about a product. We also need a product data set to know those type of products, maybe they're high valued or low valued and the likes. So these three data sets are very key important in analyzing this particular project. So after evaluation, the last thing is to decide. This is where the conclusion comes in and recommendation by the data analyst. After doing your evaluation, you recommend for the necessary stakeholders, whether the CEO or any necessary stakeholder in your organization, what they should do. Whether they should cut down the discounts on some of the products, or likewise, maybe if some of the customer segments are behaving low, they can also maybe improve the advertisements to those customer segments and the likes. So this is the overview of DDED framework: define, disassemble, evaluate, and decide. Also, for this particular project, let's define our workflow, our tool workflow for the project. For this project, we shall be using some tools which include Microsoft Excel, MySQL, and likewise Power BI. We'll be using Microsoft Excel for our data cleaning, while MySQL will serve as our database. Likewise, this MySQL will also serve as we'll analyze our data in MySQL. We'll do analysis in the MySQL software. Likewise, for the Power BI, we'll be using Power BI as our visualization tool. However, for these three tools, we will synchronize them together in such a way that whenever a new entry, we have any new entry in our Excel sheet or Excel file, it will be automatically updated in our database in here. And for us to achieve that, we'll be using a Python script for that, to automate that. Whenever we have a new data or a new entry in our database, automatically it will also appear here in our Power BI dashboard. Our Power BI dashboard will respond to that automatically by synchronizing MySQL with Power BI. So this is our workflow for the project. In the next lesson, we shall be looking at how to clean our data sets. I mean the transaction data sets, the customer data set, and the product data set for this particular product. See you in the next video. Thanks.